to a new video. Today we have a hurrah for 400 subscribers. So I took ownership recently of a Omega GT Pro Cockpit, so that we can mount the G29 that I got a couple of months ago. You can see the video in the top right hand corner. I'll put a little info card there. So here we've got the unboxing. So I ordered it on the night. 36 hours later it arrived, delivered by Steve that you just seen there. Open up the box and you can see lovely and neatly packaged, and we're gonna crack open everything we've got in here, and I'll talk you through some of the bits and pieces of what we got, what I thought, some building tips as well. So the first thing that came out was the keyboard tray. Nice, solid. I believe it's all steel, this rig here. That's going to be great for when we move into PC gaming. Here's the actual arms that go up onto the wheel deck. Two-piece there, so very strong. Unwrapping here, we have, I believe this is the pedal deck. Yeah, so this is the pedal deck. As you can see, multiple fits, so you can fit all different kinds of pedals on here. Myself, I'm fitting the G29 pedals on here, but if we upgrade in the future, we can still keep this. Now we've got a box here for all the accessories, all the bits and pieces. We'll take you through in a second. Again, packaged, protected nicely, a nice little cup holder there. Those are all the adjustable screws, so those allow you to adjust up and down, and all the hardware. It comes with all the tools as well, a nice set of Allen keys and a little multi-fit wrench in there as well, which is handy, although I did use my own parts. Finally, that little square there is for the base, which the wheel goes on, all the instructions and stickers. Put those to one side. And then here we actually have the seat base, so this is where the seat actually attaches to. So everything, so we've got the actual seat base that goes on there, all the metal pipings there, the wheel deck just there. That bit there is actually for the speakers at the back, and then all the assorted parts. So in the instructions we've got a load of decals, some Velcro strips for the mounting the steering wheel if you want to. I'm hard mounting, so not. And the instructions, we've got 11 instructions in total. So it didn't take too long to build. I did have a couple of issues which I'll point out to you, but we'll start with the first part, which is basically connecting the wheel deck arms to the bottom. Stuff that I use, I've got some Velcro cable ties. I'll link those in the description. I grabbed a load of assorted tools that I thought I may need, but you can see the ones that were supplied there. We've got a selection of M6 and M8 nuts, washers and bolts, and then we've got some countersuppers there for the speakers just on top there. Some small ones as well for mounting different bits. So basically we're connecting the arms that go to the wheel deck to the pedal deck here. Just 4 bolts, nice and simple all the way through. And I've got little nuts on the end. There you can see 4 nuts. I've put the bolts on the inside just to make them a little bit cleaner. So step 2, there are some extensions. I put them in, but you don't actually need them if you're short like me. Well, I don't know if I'm short. I'm 5'10". With my seating position, I didn't actually need them in the end. So you can see them there in the middle of the picture there. I actually took them out, but basically these mounts here go in the bottom, 2 bolts and nuts through the bottom, and they go up and connect onto the wheel deck slash support brace. Unfortunately the plug getting in the way a bit there, so you can see they go up there and then connect. Next up we had the shifter, well, the mount for the shifter. So this has got quite a bit of adjustment, so you've got these adjustable screws that slide in, and then the actual plate which we mount to. And then I mounted that up there, and it's completely adjustable. In the end I adjusted it to about the same height as the gear stick is in my Evo. Next over here we had mounting the keyboard tray and the cup holder. So that again comes out on an adjustable bar there. and then comes through, so you can rotate it and move it out of the way. In the end, I haven't fitted the keyboard tray at this point because I'm still console gaming as I'm building the PC, which will be coming in an upcoming video. But once the PC is built, I can use the keyboard tray, and the speakers is what I haven't fitted at the moment. So here we can see the build, so the support bars go up to the wheel deck, and the wheel deck's adjustable. You can see the keyboard tray and the cup holder and the wheel deck at the bottom. Now this is where I started getting a few issues. The seat I'm using is the seat that I got out of my BMW E36, which you can see elsewhere on the channel. I purchased these universal seat mounts, which are perfectly fine, from eBay. Again, I'll put a link in the description. They fitted up fine, but the issue that I then had was when, as you can see, mount the square bracket at the bottom, I then had nowhere to put the hardware to then go from the bracket into the actual seat base. The way I got around this was I fitted the hardware first, then fitted the bracket to the seat, and then the whole shebang onto the base. So this is me at this point figuring out I've got nowhere to fit the hardware. So as you can see, I placed the hardware in first, so the seat is actually seat mounts are sitting on top of the hardware. But you can see that it's really strong, no flex in the wheel deck or the gear stick mount. I've used those fabric cable ties there to hold the cables into place, so it's just a little bit neater. And doing the feel. So now we're going to have a couple of shots of giving it a go. Sitting position for me is perfectly fine. With the G27, it does mount the pedals quite low down, so it actually worked out perfectly fine for me. I think if I had done my time again, I might have got the adjustable seat mount from GT Omega, just because then it'll allow me to move the chair forward and backwards, and other people could drive it quite comfortably. At the moment, it's pretty much in the driving position for me and people of my size. But yeah, gear stick works great. We did have a couple of issues with the gear stick when Gran Turismo did one of the most recent updates. It slowed down the shifting mechanism, but they have brought that back to the original, and it is a lot better now. Overall, I'm absolutely chuffed to bits with the GT Omega Pro. For me, it's what I wanted. I wanted something that I could expand into, would be good for when PC gaming and sim racing becomes more and more, something that I could use that was very strong, wasn't going to fall apart. I didn't want anything too flimsy. I did look at other things like the play seat. The reason why I did go with things like the play seat was because the metal bar in the middle, it meant for me, I wanted to be quite realistic and you'd be able to do heel and toe and use the clutch pedal. The play seat is great if you just use an accelerator and brake, but if you want to try and do heel and toe, that metal bar in the middle gets in the way. I have to say there's been no flex, not forward and backwards, up and down. I know I don't have the most powerful wheel in the world, but I've had no issues with anything getting looser or anything like that. The shifter is incredibly tight. I've not had any movement from that at all. As I say, the only compromise for me was getting a seat that fitted. I will put the size dimensions of that bracket in the comments below, because if any you guys want to buy it without a seat, you're probably going to need those dimensions to get it to line up correctly. But there was a compromise. As I say, I just threw the hardware in already, and basically the mounts are sitting on the hardware, but they're big strong mounts. I've had no deformation from those so far, so that should be perfectly fine. Speed wise, let's talk about that. Initially I was probably about 1.4 1.8 seconds off the kind of pace that I could do with a controller, but over the practice, I think doing what 200 to 400 miles in Gran Turismo Sport, I've managed to start picking up the pace again, and at this point I'd probably say I'm about the same as the controller, if not about 2 to 3/10 of a second faster than the controller. And that's just because you notice it on certain corners. Certain corners you can carry more throttle, get on the throttle earlier, but only part better than you can with the controller. For immersion, I think it's great being able to use the clutch pedal and heel and toe lock in this Nissan GTR around the Nürburgring is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, hopefully this is the springboard now to move on to the next level with the channel. Hopefully going to have more pedal cam, steering wheel cam, things like that in our videos. So if that's something you'd like to see, then let me know in the comments. If you get any questions about the GT Omega and G29, put them in the comments below, and I'll try and answer those questions as fast as possible. If you want to know anything, what happens if you do this, if you do that, let me know and I'll try and get an answer for you. If you liked it, let me know. If you didn't, let me know again, and I'll see you again very soon.